every conspiracy. It's all real. America, you need to see this. They said he built a ballroom. He rebuilt the...
Remember yesterday when we told you the media was losing it over Trump's White House ballroom? Well, buckle up. They've gone from meltdown to complete psychotic break. CNN just devoted an entire hour to what they're calling the destruction of democracy over a privately funded construction project. MSNBC brought on a panel of historians to compare Trump to King George. The View host literally screaming over each other about autocratic architecture. One unhinged pundit, and I swear this is real, claimed Trump's ballroom proves he's planning to crown himself emperor. But today's press secretary dropped the hammer with receipts going back to 1950. Every president has renovated. Every president has demolished. The difference? Trump's using private money while Democrats burn your tax dollars investigating something they can't even stop. The hysteria has reached DEFCON 1, and I'm about to show you. Now, it's been all over the news lately. President Trump's renewed focus on American mining and critical minerals, and right now, District Copper Corp is in the middle of it. Trading under ticker CAXPF, they've just announced a major U.S. partnership with Reacher Gold LLC, unlocking access to proven gold and silver assets across Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. These aren't just exploration projects, they are real infrastructure-ready properties with verified stockpiles and historical high-grade production. This partnership gives District Copper immediate U.S. production potential and a powerful position in the metals market. And with Washington investing billions to secure domestic copper and rare earth supplies, their cross-border strategy, combining Canadian strength with new U.S. assets, could not be better timed. Check out the link in the description to learn more, and big thanks to District Copper Corp for sponsoring today's video. President Trump just a few hours ago talking about how much money he gives to the White House himself.
Dollars, yeah. Well, I also, millions of dollars, yeah. Well, I also give, I give a lot of money to the White House. The White House is, as you know, I give my salary, and I usually like to steer it to the White House because this house was a little bit abandoned. First of all, for 4 years, you had a guy walking around that didn't know where the hell he was. And this house was not taken care of the way it was supposed to be. I take very good care of property. I was very good at that. And you'll notice the floors downstairs, I paid for them. Marble, the most beautiful marble you've ever seen. The white floors down in the palm room, which they look like they came out of, I don't want to lose because they're big supporters of mine, Home Depot. So I'm not going to say bad, but they did come out of a box from Home Depot about 30 years ago. They were all broken, but now they have the most beautiful floors, the most beautiful lights and chandeliers. I think most of you, Brian, you've seen that, right?
Yes.
How beautiful is that? And I take care of it. So, I spend millions of dollars on this building, taking care of it. It was not properly maintained, and now it's starting to gleam like it should. It should really gleam, and you should go down and visit the Presidential Walk of Fame. Have you seen it? It's quite good. I'm sure that a lot of people coming to the White House, it's hot. It's very hot, but it's really a tribute to the presidents, past presidents of our country. Millions of...
And if you know what he's talking about, he actually hung up an auto pen in place of Joe Biden. Now, the press secretary earlier today, our cameras were there to capture the moment, says it's something presidents have done for years and years.
And that's been held for many years.
So it sounds like the answer is yes, he can tear down whatever he wants. And then secondly,
that's not what we're saying. That's a legal opinion that's been held for many years. And
interpreting it.
No, it's something that presidents have done for years and years. In fact, I have some photos here. Thank you, Pat. To show you the construction that's taken place on the White House grounds. This is the construction of the West Wing in 1902. Look at this, the construction of the West Terrace in 1902. These images look quite similar to what you and the American people are seeing today, the construction of the East Terrace as well. You look at the construction of the West Wing expansion in 1934. So look, this is a legal opinion that's been held for many years. Look at, this is 1950.
Yes,
it looks a lot like what you were seeing today.
Can he demolish anything he wants?
What do you think that
oversight?
rubble is? How did that rubble get there?
Right, so I'm asking, so it sounds like the answer is yes, he can tear down whatever he wants.
Karoline Leavitt bringing the receipts to the press room today. The president has been incredibly transparent when it comes to the project.
It's something the president has been incredibly transparent. I would reject any notion otherwise when it comes to this ballroom project. It's something he personally has obviously taken an interest into and has talked with all of you in this room many times about. You have seen the model in the Oval Office. Last night he showed that for you. But when this plan was presented and when these renderings, as soon as they were complete, the president directed me to come out here and to share them with all of you. I did an entire opening remarks about what this ballroom project was going to look like. With any construction project, there are changes over time as you assess what the project is going to look like, and we'll continue to keep you apprised of all of those changes, but just trust the process. This is going to be a magnificent addition to the White House for many years to come, and it's not costing the taxpayers anything. The president is privately funding this ballroom addition to the White House grounds.
I can't wait to see it personally. Okay, now, Western Lensman, right? Apparently, we've now reached the White House ballroom project is the definition of why we had the American Revolution. Stage of propaganda, press hysteria. These guys in MSNBC are just unhinged.
Do this with some sensitivity to the fact that you're not a king. You can't just do what you want to do when you want to do it. That's an adolescent response. That's actually not fair to adolescents, right? That's infantile. Just to do it because you can is in some ways a definition of why we had the American Revolution. And I can hear conservatives saying, construction project leads to fears about democracy. Just take a deep breath on that. It is a particular, the way the president's done this, that reflects and illuminates a universal. And to go back to what you were just saying a minute ago about the Senate, more and more, I don't know if anybody here agrees, I miss John McCain.
I miss John McCain. Give me a break. Actually, he has every single right to do whatever he wants at the White House. Here is more from MSNBC. The host says, "You're looking at a live picture of the destruction of the East Wing."
Demolition taking. I hate to say this, but you are looking at a live picture of something that's actually happening. The destruction of the East Wing of the White House. Demolition taking place right now at the White House on Donald Trump's orders to make space for Donald Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. That number doesn't even make sense if you're a human living on Earth 1, but it is bigger than everything that is on the complex now, almost twice as big. Our colleague Von Hilliard first reported on Monday on this show that the entire East Wing will be torn down in this demolition. We're now seeing what that means and what that looks like. And to say these are upsetting views of the destruction of the people's house might be an understatement. If you've ever been to Washington on a field trip or wanted to go after watching Forrest Gump or The American President or the movie Dave, or just thought it was one of those things that would kind of always be there. New York Times is reporting this hour that the demolition will be done. They'll be done destroying the East Wing by the end of the weekend. It is a reversal even from what Donald Trump had promised to do to the structure.
Okay, enough of that, woman. Listen, when that ballroom is finished, it is going to bring so much grandeur and stature to the presidency that every president who's going to use it thereafter is going to be so thankful that Donald Trump helped design and construct it. I've been to Mar-a-Lago a number of occasions, and the opulence, decadence, and pure majesty of that building, its architecture, its finishes, if he brings any of that style to the White House ballroom, which I'm sure he will, it is going to be a magnificent structure. And the press, all these clips that we're playing now, the press is going to be eating their words. There's no way that you are going to be able to downplay the beauty of what is about to be created once they actually see it. Right now, you get renderings, you get pictures, you get ideas, whatever. But every single president moving forward, because it's going to be done before Trump's term is up, so he will be able to use it. I'm sure he definitely wants to make sure he can. But every president thereafter is going to be just so thankful for it. Brian Allen, Trump didn't just bulldoze a wall, he bulldozed the truth. CNN had to clarify the East Wing he demolished is literally part of the White House. The same East Wing where First Ladies worked, where historic tours began, where generations of staff kept that place running. Oh, they're just melting down.
In the 1940s.
At the White House, it's the middle of the night. They are bulldozing the White House in the middle of the night without explaining to the American public really what's going to happen here, Congressman.
Well, let's be clear. It's not the White House that's being bulldozed. It's the East Wing of
which is part of
the
the
complex.
White House.
But it's much newer. There was a part of it that was built in the late 19th century and then renovated in the 1940s. It's pretty small. It's not particularly architecturally significant, at least from what I know. And this is an opportunity. Look, the president is a builder. He likes to build things. Likes to.
At the White House, it's the middle of the night.
Looks like we have Donald Trump Jr. weighing in on the ballroom. What's he have to say?
I think the Democrats freaking out about it is absolutely insane. I think the greatest irony that I saw in all of this was Hillary Clinton talking about it being the people's house. Hillary Clinton, who with her husband literally had to return furniture and silverware that they stole from the White House. That was actually the property of the people. They took it with them after their term. They had to return it because people caught them stealing the furniture. You know, she's the one that's leading the charge complaining about this thing. It's absolutely nuts. This is for the betterment of the property. It costs the American taxpayer nothing, and it's going to add value, not just to my father's presidency, but to every president after him, because it's going to take some time to build. The reality is every president after him will get much more use and much more benefit from this incredible addition to the White House. The Democrats freaking...
Tom Jr. and I are on the same page, for sure. The Five's Jessica Tarlov has a meltdown over President Trump's White House ballroom. I'm not actually melting down. I'm not actually having a meltdown about the ballroom.
Did the same. All I hear in their private therapy sessions gone public is total hatred toward President Trump and a complete ignoring of history, where at least 13 presidents did the same thing, some of them with taxpayer dimes.
Okay, so I'm going to do this part quickly because I don't want to end up in a reel that you're showing tomorrow, and I'm not actually having a meltdown about the ballroom. But I will.
Well, you're on the reel now, honey.
Say that it is nothing like any of the other renovations. I mean, his ballroom is almost double the size of the White House itself, and he's not using taxpayer dollars. He's using his own dollars, maybe, or the dollars of companies that want favorable treatment, like Google, Palantir, all with big contracts with him. But Trump and Karoline Leavitt and the whole administration would rather that this is what we're focused on, and it's really getting away from the real stories of the moment. We are in the midst of a government shutdown. The Republican caucus from New Jersey wrote to Mike Johnson saying, you got to make a short-term deal. Our constituents cannot handle these ACA premium hikes. Our farmers are losing their businesses. No soybeans coming out of America. We bail out Argentina, and then Argentina.
Okay, you want to pivot to the shutdown? Okay, I get it. Those are important points. And yes, we are talking about the ballroom, but I mean, we've been talking about the shutdown for what, 23 days now? And we're still waiting on a couple Democrats to cross over and pass the bill. Okay, so thanks for that. Jessica, thank you for the meltdown. Oh, now we have Hakeem Jeffries screeching for weeks that Trump's White House ballroom would cost taxpayer millions, now admits it's being funded by private donors.
More likely, this is part of what Donald Trump has been doing since day one of his presidency, running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country, and probably soliciting donations from people who've got business before the United States government. And all of this is going to have to be investigated. It will. All of this will have to be uncovered. Really? It will. And these people are going to be held accountable, no matter how long it takes. That's going to be the reality of the situation. And that's our warning to all of these people participating in this scheming to manipulate taxpayer dollars and, of course, to destroy the people's house. The White House belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump. More like.
Oh, man, Hakeem. It's scheming. Everyday Americans talking about President Trump's visionary addition to the White House ballroom.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nixon had his bowling alley. JFK had his swimming pool. So, he's adding his touch. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be beautiful when it's done. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
You know it's going to be beautiful. CNN's Abby Phillip interrupts and cuts off Republican guests after he mentions President Trump's self-funding.
Was a basketball. I find it very interesting that we're having this conversation because FDR actually built the East Wing, put a pool in for himself. President Obama was a basketball player, put a basketball court in. President Nixon was a bowler and put a bowling alley. All personal things they wanted to do. The president is doing an addition to the People's House. It's going to be able to hold hundreds of people. Instead of cramming people in, foreign visitors and other folks that we've crammed into these rooms, we're going to have an actual ballroom that we can properly host people in the White House. And he's paying for it, and private donors are paying for it. So any correlation, he's putting his personal dollars in along with private donors.
The pool and the basketball court did not disrupt the structure of the White House. That's the first thing.
And
the second thing,
changes.
But hold on, Tim. The second thing.
The second thing is you guys are all freaking out over nothing. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So the fake outrage perfectly captures everything wrong with our media. Trump builds with private money, and they scream. Trump follows historical precedent. They cry dictatorship. Trump creates jobs for American workers. They investigate. Meanwhile, these same people stayed silent when the Clintons literally stole White House furniture, had to return it like common thieves. But Trump adds a ballroom for state functions? That's apparently the end of democracy. Even Hakeem Jeffries had to admit it's privately funded, but he's still promising investigations using your money. So here's what this is really about. See, Trump keeps winning. He keeps building, keeps moving forward while they spiral into irrelevance. My question? Does the media's ballroom meltdown prove they'll attack Trump for literally anything? Let's have a conversation in the comments below. And hey, unlike the media, our merch store actually delivers what we promise. Check it out. This is Gary Franchi calling out the ultimate media meltdown.